The US elections are getting close. The British politicians are now interfering in another country's elections, and this time we're going to talk about the former Justice Secretary. Now, we know the current Justice Secretary is her, Shabana Mahmood. She's another chaotic person anyway. But the previous one, let's talk about him, who used to be Justice Secretary at some point under the Tory government. Oh yes, Robert Buckland, Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Lego Face. This guy has decided to go to the United States, interfere in the American elections by joining Kamala Harris's campaign team. He's not the only one. A number of other senior Tory figures, instead of staying in the United Kingdom and fixing the party, their own party, no, the priority is to go help the liberals in America. The so-called conservatives helping the liberals. Now we know why, because these Tories are not actually conservative. They're all a bunch of liberals anyway. They should be part of the Liberal Democrats. And it would be better for them to be completely kicked out of the party so that the Conservatives could retake control. But that's not really happening yet until the leadership election is finished and see what chaotic option they pick. But Robert Buckland defended his position to interfere in the American elections as a former government minister. He wrote, "It is my hope that the US avoids the chaos and uncertainty of a second Trump term, and that we have a stable and reliable ally and world power at a time when it's needed desperately." Well, hang on. These people are already in charge. They are destroying America and the world stage in general. What stability? Anyway, he says, like many conservatives who traditionally identify with the GOP in the traditions of Eisenhower and Reagan, for example, supporting Trump flies in the face of those beliefs. That's a lie, but okay. The fact that former Vice President Dick Cheney is voting Harris speaks volumes for the state of things. Did he just use Dick Cheney as an example of the moral choice, for example? However, other senior Tories, such as Boris Johnson and Robert Jenrick, are backing the Republican candidate Donald Trump. Well, obviously, because Boris Johnson and Robert Jenrick understand real life. They know that Trump is the best option. And of course, Boris and Trump are good friends anyway. At the Conservative Party conference, Jenrick renewed his support for Trump, telling the BBC that the Conservative Party has strong and historic links to the Republican Party, so it is natural that we would lean towards Republican candidates. Obviously, Robert Jenrick is right, and Robert Jenrick so far is the most impressive candidate because, for example, you've got Kemi Badenoch, who's claiming to be now suddenly right-wing because she believes women are women, and she's against the gender lobby. Well done. Even my rabbit is against the gender lobby. That doesn't mean you're right-wing. She's a globalist. Then you have, obviously, James Cleverly. I don't even start with that one. And Tom Tugendhat, who's basically a Liberal Democrat inside the Tory party. So Robert Jenrick might not be the perfect person. You know, he was still part of the old establishment. But, and this is trying his best to come across as slightly more right-wing, but it's very robust right-wing policies. And of course, Tousi TV will stay out of this Tory leadership election like any other party political election because we are not party political and they're all as bad as each other.